Hey, thanks for visiting the Midday Q&A. I'm your host, the Duckman. Thanks for watching, you guys. I really do appreciate it. 18,000 subscribers over on Duckman Cycles VW Garage and 9,000 on this channel probably within the next week. So how about that? Now, if you're one of my Patreon subscribers over on duckshit.net, you've probably seen this video about a day or two early. That's right. I release my videos early for my Patreon subscribers. So if you're interested in seeing my stuff early and supporting my channel any way that you can, which is helping me to get a bunch of new camera equipment, making the quality of my videos much better, as well as going towards my projects that I share with you guys, visit duckshit.net and please subscribe. Now this weekend, on February 3rd, which is Sunday, somebody's having a birthday. Somebody's having a birthday. Who might it be? That's right, Boomer the Duck is gonna have his birthday. Now Boomer the Duck is a good boy. He's, well, good boy most of the time when he's not humping me or biting me or something. Right now he's actually being pretty good. Usually when I hold him like this, he's good. He doesn't much like the dead cat or the cattail that's up on the microphone. It actually freaks him out. But he's behaving himself right now because I think he realizes that he's safe when he's with me. So Boomer's right here. But yeah, it's Boomer's birthday, 3 years old, February 3rd. And Skeeter the Duck follows him on March 17th when she turns 17 years old. I love it. Boomer is 3 on the 3rd, Skeeter is 17 on the 17th. That's not ever going to happen again. So, see? Say hello to everybody? That's right. We're going to get to some of the Q&A questions that we've gotten this week, because a few of the things that we've done is we burned up a Volkswagen engine. If you've been watching the videos over the last few days, you remember that when I put Eleanor's engine together, I had it burning. And by the time this video is up, you've probably already seen it running. And actually, it's running quite well. Still needs a few adjustments, and I'm still believing that it needs a bigger jet in the carburetor. So we're going to get around to that, and we're going to upgrade that about 1 or 2 sizes bigger. And that's probably going to answer that question. So, for those of you that want to know, that's the deal on that. Boomer, I think we're going to put you down. You want to go down? Let's put him down. Go ahead, Boomer. Go ahead, go in the garage. Go ahead, go inside. Go ahead, go inside. He'll find his way around the car stuff and into the door over there. Alright, so please, as always, like, comment, and subscribe. Plug that dingle bell you see down there next to the subscribe button, and we get updates every time I upload a video. Don't forget to check out Duckman Cycles VW Garage, my other channel where I work on these types of projects. Check out Skeeter the Duck, where you'll see more about Boomer and Skeeter and their upcoming birthdays. That's right, lots more going on with that. Check out my Instagram, VV. And lastly, Duckman Cycles VW Garage up on the Facebook group page. You want to email me, duckmancycles@duckshit.net. We got a bunch of questions today. We're going to answer them right after the intro, so we'll be back in a second. Woo. Alright, lots of questions as to what happened in the fire. Well, I burned up a wire. I burned up that wire, I mean, really badly. This was the wire that was going from the battery back to the coil, and also a little piece of the coil wire here, the wire that went off to the plunger, which I just since coated in some tape, and I don't like leaving tape inside the engine compartment because when it gets hot, it gets real gummy, gluey, and just makes a friggin' mess. I'm actually going to replace that wire. But as far as what damage did I receive, really, not a whole lot. That wire was damaged. A little section of that wire was damaged. A little bit of the red wire from that actually stuck to the timing light, but did not damage the timing light wire at all. That didn't get any damage out of it at all. There's another spot where it looked like some heat got to it, but it looked more like I had dragged it on the exhaust pipe. Didn't have anything to do with that fire. Otherwise, yeah, it came off pretty unscathed. I mean, it didn't damage any of my paint. It didn't short out to the chassis in any way. I mean, just shorted out to that coil and fried the wire only. You saw in the video that I did pull it off pretty quickly. And to my surprise, when I pulled it off and I walked back around the car here and I thought everything was disconnected, well, actually everything was disconnected. I had the timing light down in here, and that's actually what caused it. The timing light hit this little plunger in here and knocked that connector off, and then it grounded out to the coil. But when I pulled off the timing light, the wires were strung around here. This wire was anyway, and it was kind of tangled up in this coily wire, and it pulled it, and the charger cable was still connected to it, and it pulled it right onto the battery terminal. and it took power again, which caused the light to come on, and the coil immediately fired. So whatever cylinder it was currently lined up to, it actually sputtered. And it attempted to start, which was kind of a surprise. It actually did fire on one cylinder. Of course, there wasn't enough compression for it to actually start up properly. It would need to be cranked over a couple times for that. But yeah, all in all, I wasn't even the least bit worried or the least bit upset about it. The way I've been telling people about things in my life when I'm recording them anymore, I don't really worry so much about damage to things. I know it's going to wind up costing me money no matter what it is. I know it's going to cost me time no matter what it is. But when it comes to what I'm doing here, whether it be failure or whether it be success, is I hope that camera is running for you guys to see it. That's really my stress anymore, is just making sure that I have charged batteries, making sure that I have clean SD cards so that way I can start recording things. And stuff like this, I mean, this was free to me anyway, but I mean, even if I blew a cylinder out on the engine, you know, for whatever happened, let's just say one of the rods came through the block in the case, it would have made for an excellent video, wouldn't it? I mean, you guys would have loved to see the engine explode. I mean, you're not wishing for that, but if it happened, you would have wanted to see it, and that's where I'm at with it. My life is all about making sure that the camera gets things recorded and that it doesn't miss anything, because those missed opportunities is worse than actually having the engine explode. If it explodes, I want to see it. I want to have record of it too. So that's what it is. And am I upset about it? Really, I'm not. Everybody said, oh, bummer, you know, that's like a big deal. Well, really, it's not. You know, if Eleanore were together, everything were assembled on it, and then the car burned, I think that would have bothered me a whole lot more. Some people did say, you know, why didn't you put a fuse in it? Well, I mean, it's a quick hookup thing. But even from factory, Volkswagen did not have a fuse on this wire. It went from the voltage regulator up to the ignition switch, out of the ignition switch, back to the coil. There was no fusible link in it. In fact, typically if you shorted out that wire, usually what burned up was the ignition switch. So you can kind of say, in a very sarcastic sort of way, that the ignition switch was your fusible link. And I had that happen on the 73 Beetle once. I don't remember what I did. I was working on something. But I was sitting in the driver's seat when I was hooking up the battery, and I had the ignition turned on, and I turned around as I was hearing some sizzling when I was sitting in the driver's seat looking back at the battery. Sizzling was over here on the left. And when I turned over, I saw smoke rising out of the ignition switch, and the switch was dead. I mean, it just didn't work at all after that, so that pissed me off a little bit. But it was one of those things that I took apart. That was about a year and a half, 2 years ago. It was one of those summers where I wasn't recording a whole lot of videos. I was a little shy from YouTube at the time. So anyways, yeah, not the least bit upset that I burned anything up. I actually made for a really good video. It's a shame I just didn't get it running that night. I wanted to, but it was getting cold, it was getting late. And once that happened, I can't say I was frustrated, but I knew it was a time to put everything away. And once in a while, when, you know, just too much happens to you, sometimes it's just good to button things up, and that's exactly what it did. Put everything away and dealt with it the next day. And today, or actually, I should say, what would be yesterday for you guys, I got the engine running really, really nicely. And still need some adjustments, but we'll get to that in another video. I still hear Boomer in the garage. He's wandering around in there somewhere. I can kind of see him. What are you doing? I see you in there. Alright, well, some of the next things that we need to do on this car is going to be, once we get the engine running, we're going to totally ignore the fact that it's not running completely the way I want it to yet. But shortly it will be. But after that's done, we're going to go ahead and tear down this engine. It's going to get a coat of paint. I'm not going to get too fancy with it. I'm just going to paint it black, just like it would have looked when it was factory. I'm going to get exotic and fancy with it later. I'm going to take that cooling shroud off and get rid of it. It's got rust holes in it. And I didn't realize it at first, but you see those rubber caps that are down there, which are on the heater outlet tubes? Well, water apparently was trapped in that one, and the whole underside of it's rotted out. So it's causing cooling air to come out of it. I can weld it, I can fix it. I don't want to. I don't want to use this style cooler. I'm not going to use that those heater tubes at all. There's no heater boxes on this. I'm using J-tubes, so those are going to go away. I was a little frustrated when I saw that hole. I was like, damn it, you know, I thought this was going to be a good piece. And I think this actually came off of this engine originally. I'm thinking back, and I really don't remember. But I know the alternator didn't come off of this. They came off of a different car. But nonetheless, this car is going to have an alternator. It's just, I prefer having a little extra juice, and not so much for stereos, because people are into that crap, but not so much me. I like lighting. Just a lot of nice, tasteful lighting is important to any vehicle, and I'll be doing some nice things to this car. I mean, in fact, wait till you guys see it. You're going to be you're going to be dazzled by the lights. Things are going to look really, really nice on this car as far as lighting and effects are. Nothing too stupid, you know, I'm not going to run like neons underneath the car. You remember those back in the 90s? Neons were the big deal. The high rage, you know, the huge rage through the late 80s and the 90s. Everybody wanted to have them neons under the car. Today you're starting to see LEDs underneath the wheel wells of the cars, but this car's going to be lowered, so that's not really necessary. You put those under there, you're never going to see them anyway. I would like to put lights behind the hubs to light up the disc brakes and stuff, but I think that might be a little too much. Just too much. I'm going to try to keep it from turning into Ricer World, but make the car tasteful. So you open the hood, you have nice lights in there so you can see the trunk. You open the deck lid, you have nice lights to illuminate where you're working on the engine. Nice lights when you open the door so the entire interior lights up so you can see what you're doing. Little accents here and there to make it tasteful. We'll be doing some nice stuff with that, and since I do a lot with electrical, and really that's my strong point, is running wires and hooking things up, this car is going to be really, really cool with all the little bells and whistles for that kind of thing. But again, staying out of the Ricer World, I'm not gonna overdo it. It's going to be tasteful. And I also like it so that way when you turn the lights off, you can't tell that they were there. Yes, that's right. Invisible. And that's part of the goal here. All right. Well, I don't know how much video we got for today, but I think that's just about enough for a really short Q&A. Not so much the questions, but rather comments of what people have been saying about what I've been working on here these days. And, you know, I hope you guys did enjoy this. I really hope you did. Now, don't forget to give me that licky-likey. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to pluck that little dingo bell you see down there next to the subscribe button. Don't forget to check out Duckman Cycles VW Garage up on the Facebook group page and my other channel, which actually is Duckman Cycles VW Garage. And a lot of you actually are over here because of that channel. But if you're not, check it out, please. Vivi the Duck VV, same name as this channel, over on my Instagram. Check it out. If you'd like to email me, duckmancycles@duckshit.net. Thanks a lot for watching, you guys. I really do appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow, or maybe even tonight, with another tech video. Talk to you later.